everyone, and welcome to Soul Seeds, where in this episode, Shelby is my guest expert for today. And Shelby is an intimacy coach and healer. And we're going to dive into the topic of the benefits of body-based practices for intimacy healing. So thank you, Shelby, for being here. And I
Yes,
would
no
love to
problem.
know what exactly is intimacy healing.
Okay, so there's a few different levels of what intimacy healing can look like. So for me, intimacy is any type of intimacy with self. So that can be just your relationship to self. That can be your relationship to self and with others, like just general connection.
Mhm.
That can be intimacy, like physical intimacy, again, with self or with others. And then I also like to talk about intimacy on an energetic level. I
Mm.
really think that that's very interesting to work with if people feel called to it. And I think it's something very active in the world, and we just don't really always recognize it or realize how energetic we are and how we relate to people and to ourselves. So those are a few different ways that definitions of what I feel like intimacy is.
Mhm. And well, of course, we are talking about body-based practices. So how important is working with the body in that healing process?
So embodiment is probably the biggest tools for healing. We can do a
Mm.
lot of this, mind work. And then if we aren't actually able to embody it and live what it is that we're learning and trying to heal, then it's not really being effective.
Mm.
It has to come from within us, which can be very, very hard because a lot of the time we have um, disconnected from our bodies, and our nervous system has taught us how to deal in certain ways. And I think a lot of people will go into this mode of like a freeze mode, which
Mm.
can also be side by side with that, have like this disassociation thing that happens. So basically, when our bodies go into freeze, we don't think that we're going to survive whatever is incoming at us.
Mm.
So that can be like a big trauma response to something like very bad that happened, but it can also be a response to like emotional trauma.
Mhm.
So, if there's been someone that's been yelled at you enough times that you just started to realize that shutting down works best, then you're
Mhm.
in freeze response. You're shut down. You're probably leaving your body, be like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't feel like I can leave. Like that
Yeah.
fight or flight options weren't, I don't feel like that's one of the options here. So I'm just stuck here. So more than likely people will start to feel like they have to leave their body too.
Mm.
Um, but in general, like people can go into this freeze mode when they just don't feel safe. And
Right.
again, it does not have to be, it can be like a buildup of many different things.
Mhm.
And then we just start to get more and more dysregulated, and our body naturally starts to be like, I just feel attacked all the time. And freezing just
Mhm.
becomes like a constant state that we're in.
Yeah. Yeah, I can relate to that because I've gone through some PTSD myself, and I
Mhm,
disconnected from my body totally, which caused a
mhm,
disorder where I would literally, well, almost like dissociate and like leave my body. So I
yeah.
know how important it is to really incorporate or work together almost with your body to
Mhm,
feel safe again. So, but
mhm,
I think especially for women, of course, we are a lot of focus is on their looks or the body, and we are often shamed for our body. So,
mhm.
how important, especially, is it for women to have that strong connection and safety as a safety net, with your body?
Yeah, well, it's super important. And there's lots of different types of practices that you can do that can help with this. And it's just kind of trying to figure out which one will work best for you and what level
Mm-hmm.
you're at. So one of the this is this is one of the things I talk about a lot, which is this is kind of like a self-consent practice, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding what it is your body truly needs and wants from you
Mm-hmm.
first is what's really, really important. So understanding that, like I might say that there's a whole bunch of these options, like um, trying to build a better relationship with your body might be like standing naked in front of a mirror and looking at your body. You
Mm-hmm.
might find that super like there's a certain level of uncomfortability that happens
Mm-hmm.
here naturally if this is a work that you need to do. But if it's like, this feels so out of my comfort zone, I don't think I can even touch that, then don't. You could stand in
Mm-hmm.
front of the mirror and just look at your, like fully clothed, and just look at your face,
Right.
or like find a particular, like maybe your hand or something that doesn't have as much um, like heat to it, like trigger behind it about your body. If you have a lot
Mm-hmm.
of body confidence issues, then
Mm-hmm.
find somewhere on your body that you like and just start there. It does not have to be the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's because A lot of the time we just get judgment in our heads and start to shame ourselves. And if we can start to just practice just looking
Mm,
without allowing those thoughts to really
mhm.
settle in,
Yeah.
that's making progress. But that takes a long time to get there. There's these stepping stones that we need to take to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, so something like that you could do. Um, you could do something. I love dance, so I always will suggest something like dance, moving your body. It doesn't have to be dance, but moving your
Mhm,
body in a way that makes you feel good, starting to understand that. Because the other thing, when we're in this like dysregulated freeze mode,
mhm,
it can be really hard for us to move. But once we are able to do that, movement really, really helps us to further get ourselves out of that dysregulated state and into a more regulated, secure, grounded place.
mhm,
So finding what makes you feel really, really good. So that could be yoga, that could just be going for a walk with your dog or by yourself. It could be dance, it could be something else. It could be going to the gym if that's something that works out really for
mhm.
you.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so something like that. And then there's also, like, if we're actually talking about sexuality, learning what self-consent looks like in the sense of what feels good when I touch my body,
Mhm,
and starting with like stuff where you're actually like touching your arms, your hands, or like your belly, um, your legs. But like, I think one of the things when it comes to like sex and self-pleasuring is that a lot of the time we get the notions of what like society kind of says, that everything needs to
mhm.
go fast and like orgasms need to happen really fast. They
Or what
don't.
it
It's
should
not.
feel like, really.
Yeah, it's like you don't,
Mm,
it's not a necessary thing to do. It's about pleasure. So what actually feels good to you, and how can you um touch your body in ways that just feel good, and it doesn't have to be genital focused at all. So
mm,
so really listening to what your body's saying, because if you start to notice that, a certain part of your leg or your arm or your torso, you freeze and like your body is reacting to your own touch, that's
mm.
something to recognize and say, okay, I hear you. And I'm going to start to learn to trust myself by saying, I'm not going to try to keep touching myself here. It says like, this is a no in this
Yeah.
part of my body. So where can I go on my body that's a yes? Or is it
Mm,
I need to stop completely? So it's like things like that. It's just starting to really get in tune and listen to your body and try not to judge it. Just being like, okay, I
mhm.
hear you. Let's try something different.
That's also part of self-love, right? Like, be
Hmm.
not judgmental about actually the messages your body is sending you.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a big thing to heal and to work over. So I'm not,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, getting eventually, it takes time, but eventually getting to a certain point. I think I don't know. I feel like judgment's probably always going to be there, but
Mhm.
you can lessen it and it doesn't have to be as intense.
And how can we, as women, be more comfortable with intimacy and open to receiving, of course, consensual, obviously,
Mhm.
but how can we be more open to receiving it?
Well, again, it's kind of doing some of the practices on yourself first and understanding yourself. You really need to understand what it is that you need and what it is that you want, what it is that you like, in order to really be able to receive. Because if we're just in
Mhm.
this people pleasing mode,
Mm,
where it's like I need, people pleasing mode, and then also in this place of like I need to do these things in order to get love.
mm,
That's not coming from a place where it's like I actually enjoy this. And um like I found that with people that really, I think a lot of people really like to witness pleasure in others. And
mhm,
so if we don't know ourselves and we aren't actually speaking up about the things that we like, then it's a disservice to others as well to not
mm,
be able to speak up and share those things with
mm,
them. So I think it's really important to say that, because I don't think I recognized that for quite a long time until someone like actually was saying like, I really like to see
mhm,
like that you're enjoying what's going on here. Like, can you like tell me more or share more?
mhm.
Like, I want to see, or I want to know.
Right. And that comes, of course, with an awareness of knowing what it is that you like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I think I've learned a lot. Thank you so much, Shelby.
Yeah, no problem.